Hi everyone, this is Renee from Meadowlark Mystic, and I'm doing a really fun tag. I've been watching a lot of the video responses to, let's see, Nova Mundi Tarot. And I've watched her channel for a while, and then she came up with this really great tag, and a lot of people have been doing it. So best mass market decks for reading, and then there's prompts, and there's 11. And so let's see, hashtag readers must-haves. So yeah, I'm just gonna be sharing. I'm not gonna share decks that I've shared so much on my channel, even though I do use them. I thought maybe it'd be fun if I use some different decks. Okay, so number 1, best for practical, mundane, everyday matters. So I'm going to say that this deck, the Old Style Tarot, it's a really good all-rounder. So it can do serious readings, it can do like everyday readings, it can do work stuff. I find it really a great deck. So I'm just going to show some cards. It's, you know, kind of got that old type of art, but it's got a lot of symbolism inside the cards as well, which I really appreciate. I find it a really good reader for just like when you want to know what's happening in the day, and or if you're kind of confused about something, or if you like wake up and the energy just feels really off, this deck can really clarify what's happening. Okay, that's the Old Style Tarot, and that is for best for practical, mundane, everyday readings. In terms of oracle, let's see, do I have an oracle I can show you that I like for that? No, not close at hand. And it's like a heavily modified deck, so I don't think that would really work for this anyway. Okay, so prompt number 2, best for love and relationship readings. So I chose this. This is an older version, but I do believe that it has been republished, the True Love Tarot. So it's kind of a no-brainer for this prompt. But I really like this deck for more than just love readings. But it's kind of a pip style deck, but it has keywords at the bottom, which I really, really like. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I'm not the best at. So purple are majors. Let's see. Blue are going to be the swords or wings. And then yellow or gems or pentacles. This kind of teal color is shells or cups. And where are wands? Oh, they're pink. They're the roses. Oops, that's a star. Pink, pink, pink. So yeah, this deck is good. It's a good all-around. I mean, all these decks are good all-around readers, but I think this deck has kind of a more soft palette, as well as just its voice is pretty soft too. This deck was damaged when I got it. That's why I use kind of some of that. But anyway, when I bought this, it was out of print, but it's not out of print anymore. So yeah, good readings with this. The book that goes with it is very about love readings. So if you really want to dig into that, like, is this a good relationship for me and all that, this deck is good for that. So again, that was the True Love Tarot by Amy Zerner and Monty Tarver. Okay, prompt number 3, best for shadow work. I'm a little bit different when it comes to shadow work. Well, I mean, this was true when I first started, but so my inner child and my shadow work were very tightly bound together. So I found that I had kind of an aversion to like children's stuff, and I think that was my shadow. So this deck actually was great for that. I'm not going to show this deck because I've showed it so much on my channel. So I decided to go with this one, the Margaret Peterson Tarot. I don't know if this edition is available anymore, but I do know that they have this edition that has with the maroon backs, and I think it's actually even prettier. So I've modded mine, and I took the borders off. This deck is amazing for shadow work. Also, it's just amazing for like inner guidance work in general. The guidebook is so deep that yeah, it's just a really beautiful deck. It took her a really long time to make these original art pieces for this deck, and I would say the feathers suit, the sword suit, is particularly confronting. Not for the faint of heart, but very, very beautiful. And yeah, so this is a good shadow work deck if you're up to the challenge of really being honest. I think that it would also work well if you're a journaler, you know, if you can like sit with the images for a while, because for me, they reveal more the more you look at them. So this is a deck definitely to sit with for shadow work. Okay, that is the Margaret Peterson and a good shadow work deck. Okay, let's see. Best for career and life path readings. I'm just gonna do career because I'm just gonna do career. Life path readings is kind of a different thing. I have done quite a few I've done quite a few career readings. I don't read that much for people, but I've done a few career readings, and I've used this deck, the Mystic Mondays Tarot. And this is actually a really clear reader for career stuff, so I was really surprised. This deck is a little bit pippish. It's not a clone. You know, it does, you know, you're not going to be lost, but it kind of goes its own way with some things too. I like how it is, these are just gonna not, okay. I like how it's kind of pared down so that you can feel, or you can kind of just hone in on what the card is trying to say to you rather than get lost. Like for example, the Judgment card in the Rider-Waite-Smith, you know, has the angel and the trumpet and all the stuff, and you can kind of get sidetracked by that if you're getting overwhelmed by the imagery. But for this Judgment, there's just like a mirror and another mirror reflecting back to you maybe what you have already done. So yeah, this is the Mystic Mondays. I find it really clear for career readings, which was not what I thought when I was going to get this, or when I got this deck. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to read it for career, but it actually, that's just how it's. And I also was a little afraid that it would be kind of too young, but it's not. I mean, the people presented are, you know, you can't really see their faces, but they seem kind of young, but really it's like an energy feeling. And I find it works just fine for all different ages. But the people that I primarily read for are my age, which would be, you know, like 45 to 55 years old. So not young per se. I like this double card. Okay, that's the Mystic Mondays, and that is so number 4, prompt, best for career and life path. I really had to convince myself to do this. I enjoyed everyone's video so much that I started to feel like, you know, do I really need to do people care if I do this or not? And then I'm like, Renee, what are you doing? You're just talking yourself out of it. Okay, number 5, best for healing and emotional recovery. I would say, no, this is daily. Well, emotional recovery. Well, in terms of tarot. I'm just going to use this one. This is not a tarot deck. I guess it's just mass market decks. Oh, sorry. This deck for emotional like stuff. The Oracle of Hidden Worlds by Lucy Cavendish. This is a really beautiful deck, and I find it actually very, yeah, very healing. Some of the cards are landscape. Oops. The guidebook is good, and oh, almost all the cards are landscape. So anyway, the guidebook is really good. So when you're feeling like you really need some comfort and healing, this is a beautiful deck for that. And the artwork is really beautiful. This is one that's the other way. And one more. Okay, that is my choice for emotional healing. If I was going to choose a deck, like a tarot deck for emotional healing, it would probably be Animal Wisdom, which I've shown a million times. Again, that is this one for emotional healing if I was going to choose. Okay. Best for healing, number 6, best for decision making and gaining clarity. I think that I would choose this one. This deck is the, oh, sorry, did I not show it right? The After Tarot. I think it's a super good clear reader. I really enjoy this deck. I think that sometimes my brain can just kind of, I don't know, not take the Rider-Waite as serious as I wish I did, because I've seen it so much. And so that sometimes this deck kind of wakes me up, because I do think the Rider-Waite-Smith is a very powerful deck. But sometimes I think that I've seen the images so much that I kind of, like I said, I don't take them as seriously as I should. So this deck, yeah, wakes me up to that. I really like this tower. I do think it's a little bit of an overkill with like the bats and the lightning and the fire and the, yeah, but I really like it. This brings a different interpretation to the card in a lot of ways. It brings in a relational element, but it could also split the person into like 2 different parts of their selves. This, yeah, that's a funny thing. This is a really different interpretation of the 7, like taking it more into an action phase. But I do find this deck is a really clear reader and helps with decisions like, should I, shouldn't I? As long as you know the Rider-Waite-Smith. Sometimes I find oracles are better for if you want super clarity rather than tarot, because tarot doesn't really like to be boxed in like that, I find. Okay, best for daily guidance or daily polls. Oh, you know what? Shoot. I wanted to... Oh, darn it. I've got this all mixed up now. Okay, anyway. Daily polls. I really like this deck a lot. I didn't even show you what it was. Psychic Tarot for the heart. It's an oracle deck, but it's kind of a tarot deck. This is a great deck for like to pull at the beginning of the day or the beginning of the week and just let it sit on your space. It has keywords. It has all the majors. It does not have tens, and it does not have the court. but I find this a beautiful deck to sit with, like sit with the card and let it like, you know, kind of percolate down into your brain. A lot of majors all at once. I have shown this deck on my channel many, many times. That's how much I really like it. Okay, but it's really good for daily pulls. I'm gonna go back a little bit because I forgot. So this deck, which is the Soul's Journey Lesson Cards, is really good for shadow work, which maybe you wouldn't think it would be, but it really is. So, yeah, this deck is really good for shadow work in combination with the Margaret Peterson or another deep deck. That looks like a petri dish. So yeah, this deck has a good balance of like more challenging concepts as well as more like uplifting ones, and I find it can be really good for shadow work. And I'll leave it there. Okay, so that is the Soul's Journey. I'm going backwards a little bit. That was number 3. And then, did I do healing already? Shoot. Okay, number 5, I'm also going to go backwards a little bit. Is the Dreams of Gaia for healing. This is just an amazing deck. This is the older version, which is big and has glossy cardstock, so it's going to be kind of shiny on the camera. But I know that it's still available. This deck has a slightly different numbering system, but anyway, it's really a healing deck. You can get a lot out of it. She wrote a really great guidebook. This is a deck where you get out as much as you put in, and the images become more layered the more you work with it and the more you like sink into it. It's also a really good deck for like journeying or kind of meditating, like you step into the card. So that is another a deck for healing and emotional recovery. I think she specifically even addresses that in the guidebook. And again, the guidebook is really good. So that's the Dreams of Gaia. Sorry, I'm doubling back a little bit. Okay, best for beginners. Something practical and easy, yet a bit extra. I think that, no, this is my good deck. I think that I'm gonna combine the beginners with this one. So the beginners and the party one. So I'm combining, let's see, number 8 and number 10 with this deck, which is the Modern Witch Tarot. I think that this is good for beginners because the imagery is really modern and the guidebook is really clear. And so I think it would be easier to like resonate with what's going on in the cards. I do think that if you had a deck that had keywords on it as well as these, that might be better. I'm trying to think if I have any mass market deck with keywords on it. I don't think I do. So that would be even easier for a beginner, right? It'd be even easier if you had a deck that had keywords. Neither do. But this I think would be good for beginners, and also I think this would be good to bring to a party for fun, because I think people get excited when they can kind of see themselves in the cards. It's not so esoteric. Like, this is a very non-threatening 10 of Swords, and they've even changed the title. Instead of the 10 of Swords, it's Everything is Fine, which is very layered in terms of the 10 of Swords, and I kind of love that. So I think if this is beginner friendly, and also it would be fun to take to a party. I've taken my tarot deck to a party only one time. It was not, he looks like the Punisher instead of Death. Anyway, it was not this deck. It was the Magical Forest. Because I was kind of trying to do many things at once. I was trying to make it fun. I was trying to make it non-threatening. I was trying to make it, you know, easy for them. This is really cool though, to understand. And I just thought the Magical Forest would be good for that. But I've shown that deck a lot, so I decided to use this one. Okay, so that is best for beginners, practical, easy to use, and then also taking to parties. So because I messed up some of the other prompts, hopefully this one will make sense. And then let's see, best for intuitive freestyle readings. Best for intuitive freestyle readings. I would say that for me, this deck, and I mean, I hate to show it because I've shown it so many times. Okay, I'm gonna do these two together. So this is the Otherkin. Oops. The Otherkin over here. Nope, not doing it that way. And the Dreaming Way. I think the Dreaming Way is really easy to read, and it's also very intuitive. And then these two decks actually create a really interesting free flow. So this, I'm just going to use this as the intuitive prompt. So the Dreaming Way is kind of a fantastical storybook vibe. And then the open space of the Otherkin, really, I don't know, they speak really well together for me. I saw on someone's channel, and I apologize, I don't remember whose it was, but she had combined the Otherkin and the Line Strider together. And I think in order to make it 78 cards, that some of them had been taken out. But I really thought that was really interesting, and I actually did think about doing that. Because there are some of the cards in the Line Strider that are so beautiful. But I decided I'm really bonded to the Otherkin, so I don't want to take any of them out. I mean, I guess I could just add, but that would be weird, adding like a double page or something. Yeah. I just find these read really well together, and give me that like intuition and free flow. Okay, so that's prompt number, well, it's prompt number 9, but I already kind of did number 10. Oops. So, nope, that's not how it works. I don't know why I'm getting these mixed up. And I didn't realize that I have quite a few out of print decks, which is weird because they weren't out of print when I got them. And I've been reading for, it's kind of scary to realize I've been reading for 11 years. Like, that blows my mind. I'm still coming to terms with that. Okay, 11, best for reading for people who are scared of tarot and need a hug deck. So I was going to do, well, I've shared this one. Actually, I have a lot for this one. And I'm just going to share them all because some of the other prompts were short. And even though I've shared these before, I'm still going to share. Okay, so the first one would be the Good Tarot. I think that when this deck came out, we were all a little bit like, yeah, I mean, that's the Good Tarot, but it like, is it even tarot still? You know, like the Devil is Temptation. And the Air suit, which is, you know, the swords, is really different. But I'll tell you what, this deck reads really well. And it surprised me. I think I got it because it was on sale. You know, Hay House had their sale, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll just try it. I was really surprised. So this is a beautiful deck that has a very warm, soft energy. It's not scary. There's the Chariot. But it actually reads really well. So if you read tarot and you know what you're doing, you can read a lot of really good stuff into this. Okay, so this is the first hug deck, or for people who are scared of tarot. Like, this is the Judgment, and you know, she renamed some of them. I think this is a great Six of Swords card. And, you know, I'm biased, but I love it when they do something different with the Three of Swords instead of the heart. So, it does have a little bit of a, like, romance novel, you know, aesthetic, but that's okay. And then Death is Transformation. You know, like, this is the Ten of Air, very different. Let's see, Temperance is renamed Patience. Okay, and 11 is Justice. So that is my first people scared of tarot or hug deck. And then I have two more that I wanted to share. Where did I put this? Oops. This one is also very huggy, and this is the Fairy Tarot Cards by Radley Valentine. It has like a level of cheesiness that, I don't know, I just appreciate. And the messages at the bottom are just really supportive. So let me try to find a card. Okay, so this is the Devil. The illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. Let's see, let me find another kind of more challenging card. Okay, so this is the Three of Swords, the Three of Winter. Reach out to others for comfort and love. You will grow stronger from this situation. Sadness will heal in time. So it's just a good deck, you know, if you're really going through it and you cannot withstand another slap in the face that sometimes tarot can provide. This deck is a good deck to go to. Like I said, very, you know, the Photoshop is odd, but I don't know, endearing, especially since we're now in the realm of AI where you wouldn't get such strange images together, because you can literally like just put whatever you want in AI and it will create it based on art that it, you know, absorbs from the internet. And this is actually photoshopped. So yeah, sometimes it looks very strange, but the sun is ridiculous. Oh. But I find it funny, and yeah. So we'll leave it on the Ten of Winter, which is the Ten of Swords. Nobody really wants that card. The resolution of difficulties, the weight lifted off your shoulders. Why? Because it's the end, and the end of an addiction or codependency. Okay, so that is the Fairy Tarot cards for people who are scared of tarot or they need a hug deck. And then the last one I'm going to do for people who need a hug deck, and I've shown it on my channel before, but I'm just going to give it another little bit of love, is this one. It's the Animal Guides Tarot. This one was out of print for a while. It's also Radleigh Valentine. Maybe he's like the king of hug decks, maybe. And I'm here for it because, you know, right now things seem really rough. I am not a protest kind of person. I get overstimulated with all the anyway, the outside stuff, but I'm going to a protest on Saturday, and that should tell you how terrible things are here, because I'm an introvert. It's not something that, I mean, I do a lot of other things, like my job. What I do for work is about social justice advocacy and, you know, supporting marginalized people. But yeah, I'm going to a protest this weekend because things have gotten so bad. Anyway, this is the Animal Guides Tarot, and it is a hug deck, and it is definitely for people who are scared of tarot. And this is the type of deck I need right now, given how everything is going. I live in the United States. And yeah, it's rough. And it's rough all over the world. I wanted to send love out to Nova Mundi Tarot because I know that what's happening in Iran is just, it's scary for everyone. And I think we're all kind of like, I don't know how it's going to end. And that, I think, is the really scary part. So I'm gonna leave it on that because it's a hopeful note. Thank you so much for this wonderful tag. So many people have responded. I've enjoyed watching so many of the responses. I think a lot of us have just been feeling so numb and overwhelmed, and this just brought a lot of light and happiness into the area of TarotTube that I see. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much, and thank you for watching my video. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.